Have you ever wondered how a forest grows? It does not simply appear overnight. It is part of a magnificent, slow dance that takes place over many, many years. This process is called ecological succession. It is the story of how life reclaims the land, step by careful step. Think of it as nature's way of building a home. It starts with an empty plot of land, perhaps a bare rock or a patch of scorched earth. Then slowly, new life arrives. First come the small, tough pioneers, then bigger plants follow. Finally, a grand and complex community like a forest or a grassland stands where there was once nothing. This is nature's most patient and remarkable creation. This incredible journey of transformation is happening all around us, though often too slowly for our eyes to see. We are about to embark on a journey through time. We will witness how the most barren landscapes on our planet can transform into vibrant ecosystems, teeming with life. Every grand story must have a beginning. In the story of succession, the first characters to arrive are called pioneer species. These are not the mighty oaks or the towering redwoods. They are the humble, the tough, the incredibly resilient. Think of lichens mosses. Lichens are a partnership between a fungus and an alga. They cling to bare rock where no other plant could survive. True adventurers of the plant kingdom, withstanding scorching sun and freezing cold with very little water or soil. Pioneers are not just survivors, they are builders. As lichens grow on rock, they release weak acids. Over time, these acids break down the rock. When lichens die, their tiny bodies decompose, mixing with the rock dust. This forms the very first, thinnest layer of soil. Now let us look at the most dramatic form of this process, primary succession. This is what happens when life begins in a place where no life has ever existed before. There is no soil, no seeds, nothing but a blank canvas. Imagine a brand new island formed by a volcano erupting from the sea. The lava cools into a vast expanse of black sterile rock. It seems impossible that anything could ever grow here. This is the ultimate starting point. It is nature's greatest challenge, a test of its ability to create a living world from the most basic raw materials our planet can provide. The first arrivals on this new land are carried by the wind and the sea. Tiny spores of lichens and mosses, light as air, can travel for thousands of miles across the open ocean. If they land on this new rocky shore, they can begin the slow work of colonization. As we have seen, they are the pioneers. They cling to the rock, slowly breaking it down and creating the first specks of soil. It is a painstakingly slow process. It might take hundreds of years just to form a few centimeters of soil. This is a world built on the time scale of geology, not the time scale of a single lifetime. There is no better place on Earth to witness primary succession in action than the Hawaiian Islands. This entire archipelago was born from volcanic fire in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The youngest island, the Big Island of Hawaii, is still growing today. Kilauea regularly sends rivers of molten lava across the land. Lava pours into the sea, creating steam and new land. When this lava cools, it forms vast fields of black barren rock. A sterile new world waiting for life to arrive. Life does arrive, a living laboratory for scientists. The first life to appear is often a native fern or the hardy Ohia lehua tree. Seed spores are light enough to travel on the wind. The ohia is particularly remarkable. It grows in cracks of cooled lava roots, searching for moisture and tiny nutrients. Its red blossoms are often the first splash of color pioneer plants begin soil formation in this harsh environment. As these plants establish, they change everything. Leaves fall and decompose, forming pockets of rich organic matter. While primary succession is about building from nothing, there is another, much faster process of recovery. This is called secondary succession. It happens in a place that has already supported life, but has experienced a disturbance that has cleared the existing community away. The key difference is that the soil is already there. It may be damaged, but it is present, and it often contains a bank of seeds, roots, nutrients left over from the previous ecosystem. This gives nature a tremendous head start in the rebuilding process. Think of an abandoned farm field. A farmer may have plowed and planted crops for many years. But when the farmer leaves, the land is not bare rock. It is soil, rich with history. The first plants to appear are usually fast-growing annual weeds, crabgrass dandelions. Their seeds may have been lying dormant in the soil for years, just waiting for the chance to get enough sunlight. These plants grow quickly, produce many seeds and stabilize the soil, preventing it from eroding away in the wind and rain. A powerful real-world example of secondary succession unfolded in Yellowstone National Park in 1988. That summer, massive wildfires swept through the park, burning nearly a third of its total area. To many observers, it looked like a catastrophe. Vast areas of majestic forest were reduced to blackened, smoking skeletons. The landscape appeared dead and devastated. People worried that Yellowstone would never recover from such a profound disturbance. But nature, as it so often does, had a different plan. The fires were not an end, but a beginning. In the spring following the fires, something miraculous began to happen. The forest floor, now cleared of its thick canopy and enriched by a layer of ash, burst into life. The sunlight could finally reach the ground, awakening seeds that had been lying dormant in the soil for decades. The most spectacular sight was the explosion of wildflowers. The landscape, which had been black and gray, was suddenly painted with vast carpets of purple, yellow, white. Fireweed, a tall plant with bright pink flowers, was particularly abundant, thriving in the nutrient-rich, sun-drenched conditions. The process of succession primary-secondary is a journey towards a final stable state. This destination is known as a climax community. This is a mature, self-sustaining ecosystem where the mix of species is relatively stable over a long period. In many parts of the world, the climax community is a forest. After the pioneer species, the intermediate shrubs have done their work, the conditions become right for long-lived, shade-tolerant trees to grow. These are the giants that will come to dominate the landscape. Starting from that abandoned field, the small shrubs are eventually overshadowed by faster-growing trees, pines, aspens. These trees form the first true canopy, casting deep shade on the forest floor. This shade prevents their own sun-loving seedlings from growing, but it creates the perfect nursery for the seeds of other trees. Not all succession journeys end in a forest. In many parts of the world, the climax community is not a woodland, but a vast, open grassland. This outcome is determined by the specific environmental conditions of a region. In areas that receive less rainfall, there simply is not enough water for dense forest. Great Plains of North America, savannas of Africa. Succession follows a different path, a kingdom dominated by grasses. Wildflowers thrive, adapted to drier climates. It still begins with pioneer species colonizing bare soil, and colonizing disturbed soil. Instead of being replaced by shrubs or trees, the community moves to resilient grasses. Deep fibrous roots anchor and find scarce water. Roots soak up the little water available. Roots hold soil together, preventing erosion in windy places. The ecosystem becomes a sea of grass supporting tiny insects, supporting vast herds, bison, supporting vast herds, wildebeest. Disturbances maintain these grasslands. Fire can sweep across a prairie, burning dried grasses above ground. Ecological succession is more than just an interesting natural process. It is the fundamental engine of life on Earth. It is the mechanism by which our planet creates and maintains its incredible biodiversity. By constantly creating new habitats and changing existing ones, succession provides opportunities for countless different species to thrive. From the tiniest microbe in the soil to the largest whale in the ocean, every living thing is part of a community that has been, and will continue to be, shaped by this slow, powerful dance of change and renewal. This process of building ecosystems from the ground up provides essential services that all life, including humanity, depends on. As succession progresses, the new communities of plants build soil, and healthy soil is the foundation of our agriculture. Forests and grasslands purify our air and water. They capture and store enormous amounts of carbon, helping to regulate the global climate. They prevent soil erosion and reduce the risk of flooding. Succession is nature's way of building a stable and resilient planet, and we are the beneficiaries of this tireless work. It is nature's grandest and most hopeful epic.